I was thinking.
What were you thinking, Trent?
I was thinking we should look at the job page. Oh my God, you have the job page up.
Oh, I just so happen to have the Beamdog job page open.
You anticipated my need.
It's quite a coincidence, really.
Wah, wah, wah.
And so we're showing the current openings at Beamdog here because we think that some of you guys might want to work with us and might have the skills and heroism.
Yep, and skills has Zs on it.
Skills.
Skills.
If you want to work with Beamdog.
Yep, you got to have the skills.
Got to have the skills.
With Zs.
It's true.
Lots of Zs.
We are looking for a lead programmer.
Yeah.
Big boots
that is
to
big
fill.
Boots. That is big boots. And then we've also got programmer. It's singular on the webpage, but the positions are multiple.
It's actually, you just want to throw a Z on the end of programmer.
Programmers.
Yeah, skilled programmers.
And then as well, technical artist.
So what skills do you need as a technical artist?
You need a really thick skull because you're going to be spending a lot of time smashing your face into problems. A technical artist, really your job is to work with content creation teams and make sure that they can get their content into the game and help them solve kind of pipeline issues and really build that pipeline. Neverwinter has a very colorful pipeline. It's got a lot of angles to it. There's some complexities in there. How tiles are treated versus how characters are treated versus how spell effects and visual effects and particle systems. There's a lot of work there.
All right.
I kind of remember how most of it works, but then I start doing it again and I get terrified and I'm like, we gotta hire somebody to do this. I'm scared and it's dark in here.
Wonderful. So pipeline skills and a thick skull.
A thick skull and understanding 3D Studio Max, Maya. Even if you worked previously in like Softimage, I mean, packages are packages. It's like learning to use a hammer. Once you've used one hammer, another hammer feels a little wrong off the start, but after swinging it for a while, it starts to feel okay.
Nice. Well, we also already have hired a new HR person, and I hope she's watching today to hear the threats of violence that Trent makes upon employees regularly.
I don't make threats of violence.
No? They're promises.
Yeah. I may have made a comment about a wood chipper
earlier
today. I gotta say, Fargo really affected me, man. It took me to a place. I saw possibilities there.
Yeah. Well, and the other jobs that we've got open are web developer and quality assurance tester. And that one's a new one. And I think you need to have some potential D&D 5th edition skill set.
Yeah, that one, we were looking for somebody who had a pretty strong understanding of 5th edition rules. The deeper, the better. Mm-hmm. We won't say why.
Of course not.
Well,
there's no real reason.
They've got to be able to play D&D to join the company.
Yeah, we just wanted to recruit some more players to our...
We need a better rules lawyer for our in-house D&D game. We need a second, because you just can't have one opinion. You need a couple opinions.
Exactly.
So that's important.
Yep.
Yeah, and then web developer, I mean, we've got a web package that we're working on. It's pretty big. It's webbish.
And I think there's going to be a posting soon for an IT person.
That is correct. So we're still kind of sorting out exactly what the IT position is, but we're looking at almost like a DevOps/IT kind of role, where DevOps is like developer operations, where you'll be working with servers and backend, and when things go boom, your job is to step into the mayhem and start assembling things back together and kicking machines to get them going again, and all the fun things that go with maintaining hardware.
Well,
and software stacks.
And in order to accommodate all the new people that are rolling in weekly here at Beamdog, we've got 2 offices.
Yeah, we've got Beamdog East and Beamdog West, and I walk between them probably about 7 times a day. So I'm getting my steps in, man. I am getting my exercise walking down the street.
What's the progress looking like over at Beamdog West? Renovations.
We are actually just starting the kickoff on the construction. So on Monday we have a meeting with the contractor to start it.
Cool. I visited a team that was working over there, and it was a little bit
intimate.
Yeah, intimate. A little bit moist in the room there.
Moist is such a bad word. It's an ugly word.
They also
moist.
had like upside down bucket just in the middle of the room.
Yeah, that's there's a plug in there. You don't want to step there.
Yeah, they didn't want to trip over.
You don't want to
it,
trip people, so you need to mark that out.
I think underneath there.
No, there are no rats over there.
No
All the
rats.
rats are over here.
Yeah.
And they're not rats.
No,
they're mice. They're cute little mice.
No, it's actually a really nice new office, and
Yep.
I'm really excited for it to be done. And,
Yeah, there's actually the one day I had one of the knives that I had made, and I was walking, and I saw a little mouse run for it, and I was like, I was going to go for the throw, but then I was like, no, there are so many ways this could go wrong. I am not good at throwing knives, and this is about 3 times the size of what you should be throwing, and there's windows and all sorts of things that I value. So I'm not going to throw a knife to try and hit the mouse.
And also, I'm sure you only use the safe capture traps, right?
Sure. You just keep that in your head, and that's a good image to have.
Yeah. PETA, don't get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mice, they're cute. They're cute little guys. They run around. They do little skitter stuff.
Yeah, they're cute. They're
Don't,
related, cousins to hamster, Boo the hamster.
They are. But the downside of that is that mouse poo. Mouse poo's not good.
Yes.
Mouse poo is just not good.
Move the mic a touch here.
So here is a question from the community. Back in Canada this weekend. Need to know so I don't miss next week's stream. I don't know. Do the clock go back this weekend, or is next weekend?
I heard it was this weekend.
This weekend? That'd be good because I'm tired of waking up in the darkness and taking my dog for a walk in the dark.
Well, wait, I think it's going to actually get darker.
No, we go fall back an hour, so.
Right. So it's in the morning.
No, we're not getting up earlier. We're getting up later, aren't we?
No, that would be spring forward.
You're confusing me now.
The sun will be further away. It'll be darker.
It will?
You fall back.
No, I thought it gets, I don't know.
You spring forward, you fall back.
You fall back.
The sun, I don't know.
I don't remember right now.
It sucks.
So I am suffering. I am suffering right now because we took some friends to a restaurant that was called Meat, and I'm currently suffering from a meat hangover.
Yeah, Meat is a really great Edmonton restaurant, but you don't want to make the trip there too often.
I think the key thing to do is avoid having multiple kinds of meat. And there's the wall, right? You're eating up. You're like, I'm starting to hurt a little bit, but this is so tasty.
Yeah.
And if you stop at the wall, things are okay. If you continue past the wall, you're sitting there, it's 3 a.m., you got the meat sweats going, you're like, I feel so bad. Yeah.
And I think you guys ordered the meat platter.
We did.
That's what I heard.
And then we added some extras.
Brisket, fried chicken.
Sausage, roasted
smoked meat.
Smoked chicken. It's
delicious.
Pulled pork. There was a lot of good stuff.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for the Beamdog news section.
Yeah.
Please come work for us.
Moral of the story is meat sweats. Meat sweats bad.
And meat sweats are bad.
Yep. And we still have multiple positions open.
Yeah.
One programmer showing.
Yeah. Beamdog, it's an awesome place to work. This week we had another Dungeons & Dragons session that I DM'd for the Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. And that was lots of fun. And I know there's another session that happens every other Friday. So we want more players to come have fun with us. Come work for Beamdog.
I don't know. We're going to need a bigger table because we kind of stole half the table for the other office.
It's true.
Which is kind of funny. Here's a question. Back when Phil was around, you guys used to jump on persistent worlds and such. Do you have any plans to highlight or spotlight persistent worlds and modules on stream? Maybe just a 5-minute segment or something? The answer is yes, this is something we want to do going forward, but we're actually kind of holding off until NW Sync goes live because I think that'll be a big part of kind of showing off where Neverwinter is going to win out and what it's capable of going forward. So we'll be doing it again in the future, but we're gonna wait a little while. Let Neverwinter Sync go to mainline, let some servers come up, get that content rolling, and then we'll have some fun with it. which should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's some pretty awesome persistent worlds out there. So
Yeah, and we'll actually play on them as opposed to just running around and having kill the fill contests. He's a real hoot to play D&D with too.
Is he?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that kind of wraps up his whole philosophy on how to play games. It's like, I must be the most disruptive person possible.
DMs must love him.
Wood chipper. Here's a question. Are most positions required to be local in Edmonton? Yes. So all the positions we have on the web page right now are required but in seat in Edmonton in our office. So you get to socialize with us.
Yeah.
Because the socializing it's like most of our job.
Yeah, like
You got to hang around.
teamwork and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And mockery. A lot of mockery. You've got to be able to mock each other.
Vicious mockery.
Not vicious. It's got to be fun and there's got to be a certain angle to it. And then you've got to play competitive games against other people in the office, and you've got to crush them. And then there's a certain amount of gloating that's required. And then you have to balance that gloating with knowing that when it happens to you and you are crushed mercilessly, that people will come to your desk and stand there and mock you.
Yes.
The key is to bear it with grace. It's like,
That's
well
true.
done. Well done, young fellow. You crushed me soundly. Good show.
Yes. There's a lot of gaming that goes on here.
There is.
So, another reason to work here. Moving on to marketing news.
Oh, God. That was so loud. Marketing news.
We've got a Beamdog Halloween sale that will be kicking off right after the live stream.
Yeah, the Beamdog almost Halloween sale.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like Halloween month, you know.
True.
It's spooky, ooky, everything.
I would actually like that. I'd be totally cool with Halloween being a month.
Yeah.
It's like the best holiday.
It is. I mean, you get to go knocking on people's doors and get candy. I mean, not anymore, but
yeah.
But if you have any children in your life,
that's why people have children.
That's right.
Because the deal is you do the parent tax thing and you take half the take.
Have to take.
Half the take.
They can't possibly eat all that candy.
Exactly.
I had a coworker at my last job who his rule for his kids were that they were allowed to have as many Halloween candies as their age. So 5 years old, they had 5 candies.
5 candies.
That's it.
That's cruel.
I know. Well.
That is cruel. That is harsh.
A little bit.
So,
I would have pillowcase full of candy when I was a kid.
So we usually just make the 2 piles. It's like, you get to keep that, and this is Daddy's half. And then over time, we just raid her stash.
Well, if you want to know what's going to be in the Beamdog sale, on the Beamdog store, we've got 50% off all Infinity Engine games, 30% off Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, and 50% off all the soundtracks. So
that's a whole lot of sailing.
That's a lot of sales stuff. But it's only until Halloween night.
Yeah. And then on the Halloween theme, we've got Bodhi the Vampire from Baldur's Gate 2. And we've got Hexat from Siege of Dragonspear. So we're themed appropriately.
Indeed.
There are definitely Halloween elements to our games.
And I know people will be dressing up here in the office next Wednesday. Trent, do you have a costume planned?
No, I don't have a costume planned.
We were thinking we should get like a dress-up trunk for the office, and the people that don't dress up will have to cobble together something out of that.
Have to select something from there.
Yeah, exactly.
I will be the Gunzerker from Borderlands 2. Because there's something about yelling really loud and shooting the hell out of everything around you. It just seems really appealing.
Very nice.
Very.
Well, there's another question here.
Oh, God.
Having restarted Neverwinter Nights 2 yesterday, was there any progress on Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition? I vaguely remember someone saying that everyone needed to talk to everyone else, but can't remember if anything else happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. And nothing continues to happen. It's one of those things where conversations happen and then everybody's like, yeah, we should look further into that. And then months pass.
So I guess not.
So right now, we have no plans for Neverwinter 2.
All right.
No concrete plans.
No plans, I'm afraid.
No plans.
So, a little bit of other marketing news. Just reminder to sign up for our newsletter, and we want to gloat.
Apparently, the Beamdog Twitter has 7,000 followers, and they're glad they think they're going to pass me soon.
Trent has 10,000.
I had 10,000.3 at one point. I think I'm down to 10,000.2. I think they started culling some of the porn bots that were following me, which is kind of amusing because, I mean, I got really nothing to offer for the porn bots. I'm like, you want to talk about video games? We're good, but sorry, porn bot, just not gonna be good.
Right.
Got nothing for you.
Yeah, they did do a cull of bots, so
Yeah.
Luckily I don't think we lost too many people. I think we've got a core fan base on there, and it's growing every day.
You've got real humans as opposed to bots.
Right.
I had a lot of bots at one point. Actually, my whole Twitter following, it was pretty moderate, and then I said something nasty about Nintendo, and then it went way up. So maybe I have
That's
to say
the
something
world we live
nasty
in.
again.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No?
No.
All
But
right.
you know, I'm lawful good, so.
Yeah. I am mostly chaotic neutral, I think was my bias. And I like yelling.
Yeah. Oh, and we have a question about a character you mentioned. Speaking of Hexat.
The Clara companion, downloadable content when? Never. We really liked Hexat. We had a lot of fun with her, and I think we'd like to expand out. Kind of, it's true of all the characters we worked on. It's just really, from a context standpoint, looking at where to spend the resources of the company going forward and what makes the most sense. It's really hard to kind of justify going in and doing these small-scale additions to our older games. It makes more sense for us to do bigger things and to do forward-looking things. Because D&D at this point, I mean, we're coming up on the 20th anniversary of Baldur's Gate.
That's right.
We're pretty far in the past, and the world has iterated a lot since then. I mean, the 5th edition's almost kind of like a reset back to the golden era before the time of troubles. So you've got Bane, you got Merkel back. Bane's my boy. I love him. And I think we'd rather be working on the new stuff. So that's kind of what I'm thinking from a studio standpoint. I mean, I like the idea of expanding on the characters we've already put a lot of effort into, but really it just comes down to business opportunities and what makes the most sense. Because at the end of the day, I have to feed a whole lot of people, and we're going to make the right decisions to feed those people.
All right.
Because there's a lot of responsibility to feeding people.
True.
Here's a question. Cost of Android. Well, it depends on the device you buy, but some of them are quite... I know what you mean. We haven't actually settled on a price yet, but we have inklings. And once we've got a firm price kind of figured out, we will communicate that sometime before we put it on sale, because at that point, there's no going back, man. We've got to commit.
Next question. What is your next project, and when is it going to happen?
That is a good question.
A really, really good question.
Yep. The answer is yes.
Very informative.
I am a bucket of awesome information. Here's a question. What about an official Shaman stronghold for BG2? Well, Shaman, I mean, I guess you could potentially just use the planar sphere, like the mage stronghold. We could unlock that, but then it wouldn't be special. It wouldn't be just for mages anymore. You'd be like shamans. I don't want shamans in my mage sphere, man.
Right.
It's the
mages
planar
might have
sphere.
the mages might have some objections.
Yep.
So
They're not an inclusive bunch. They're like, we don't like those shaman people. They're not like us.
all right. Well, moving on to Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition news. We have the dev build 8183, and that included a NW sync.
Yeah, so NW Sync was out in the previous dev build. We got a little bit of feedback on it. We made a couple revisions to it, made some things look a little better. So it's pretty cool. So part of our desire with the dev build is people fired up, start testing NW Sync. We've hit it from a couple different directions. We've made some improvements to it. We'd like to do another round of bug fixing and patching up on it. So if you're into it, grab the dev build, hit a couple servers up, persistent worlds that are running, and pull what you can.
And we just want to say thank you to everybody who's already on there
Yep.
and helping us test it out and filing bugs when they find them, because we want to make sure that it's as stable and great as possible when we actually kick it live.
Yep.
So
Because there's one of two outcomes. Either we find all the bugs in dev, or we find all the bugs when we kick it live. I would much rather find the bugs in dev than find them in live.
So yeah, it's really awesome that there are so many people helping us out with that, and we
Yep.
just would love to see more people in there if you're ready and willing.
So here's a question. Favorite Easter egg in any of the projects you have worked on? I actually really like the BMU from the Baldur's Gate series, the big metal unit. It grew out of the golden pantaloons, which was literally just a joke. Greg used to walk through the office and go, he would sing all the time and be like, hey, you should put on some golden pantaloons. And then everybody would laugh and they thought it was funny. And then somebody implemented golden pantaloons in the game. And then the next game, they implemented the other one. And then it just became this big kind of joke in the office. And I also think that QA just kind of helps sneak those features through. Whereas I think QA in the modern era is a lot tighter and will cut those kind of things. But yeah, big metal unit.
Very nice.
Anything that grows out of an internal office joke and becomes kind of like a piece of game content, it's one of those fun little lore things from the studio that are just amazing. Love it.
Very nice. Very nice.
I have a question. It's obviously targeted at me because I don't think you have the hands
Yeah,
of a
actually,
boxer.
I think this one's for me. Yeah.
It says, you have the hands of a boxer, not a programmer. How hard do you hit the lines of code? I have not done actual useful programming in probably a decade. I did go back and I recently poked at the Neverwinter export pipeline. I wrote the original version of it and then it got ported to Mac script. And then I started digging through that. And the answer is, I am a horrible typist. I type slow. It's not pretty. I'm one of those people who you just use the mouse more. That'll be good. Just use the mouse. don't make me watch your hunting and pecking. But,
Maybe they need to make a keyboard with extra big, extra big buttons.
I can
and
actually.
keys.
I have a MacBook Pro that has a fairly small keyboard, and I can work
And
on
you're
that.
okay?
I'm good. Yeah. It's like I went to the stream of Many Eyes, and the Big Show was talking, and he was talking about how the world was not made for really big men, and he was saying, so imagine you're texting, and it's like somebody strapped Oscar Mayer wieners on the ends of your fingers, and you're trying to poke things. He would have real problems. Me, my mitts aren't that bad. I can make things happen.
You've got a high dexterity score.
That said, texting on an iPhone, for some reason, the space, the and the N and the period all kind of mush together. So I do these run-on sentences with N's where there should be spaces or periods where there should be spaces, and it makes me angry.
Well, we do have. So, how about a demo for the players to test as well?
So if you just fire up the dev build, there are a couple servers that have that flag in. It's in the matching. You can see which ones are actually running content, so you can actually run it and check it out. That's something we can look at potentially, is throwing up a server of our own. Posting up a server of our own, because throwing up a server would be bad.
Yes. Well, it's time to announce a winner of the first T-shirt prize on the stream.
Another T-shirt.
Another T-shirt.
Do you know how much money we spend on T-shirts? My God, the humanity!
Nevertheless,
Yep, we'll give away a T-shirt.
Giving away a T-shirt.
We are giving away a T-shirt too. Pepsi Max Pain. God, meat sweats, you're killing me.
Pepsi Max Pain. Congratulations, you've won a Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition T-shirt.
Yep,
Which is pretty cool.
that is. It's the only way to get them. You can't buy them.
You cannot buy them. You have
cannot.
to win them.
There is no purchasing.
Indeed. You
Hello?
have to,
Oh,
or
here's-
get hired.
Yeah.
We get them. if you're a
Yeah.
Beamdog employee.
So you either work on the team or you've managed to win one on stream. That's the only way to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or you said something really nice to me and I gave you one at a trade show, because I do that.
Yeah. You can, if we're at a convention, you might
Or-
finagle your way to one.
Or I'm trying to bribe you. I definitely use them for that. I'm like, so you said no, but what if I give you a Beamdog t-shirt?
Does that ever work?
In the game industry, yes.
Okay.
It works really well. Gets me all sorts of invites to parties. It's like, hey, you want a Planescape t-shirt? Oh, welcome to the party.
Otherwise,
Sorry,
like
sir.
letting other people
like,
in. Like
T-shirt. They're like,
Nice.
ooh, t-shirt.
Well, we do have a little bit more Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition news. So a couple things about Persistent Worlds, actually, and Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Halloween period.
Ravenloft.
Our friend Soren.
Yeah, Ravenloft.
Prisoners of the Mist server is kicking off a Halloween play a new character event.
And we've actually got their little poster thing here. I'm pulling it up on my...
Prisoners of the Mist. Halloween play a new character event. Friday the 26th to Sunday the 4th.
So that's today.
My God, today! I'm
So you better
testing
get
the
on.
range of my microphone here. You might notice that.
So
The
yeah.
truth is I'm just a jackass, and I like watching Dan's expression when I boom on him.
So hop on to the Prisoners of the Mist, or the Ravenloft Prisoners of the Mist Persistent World for Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition and play a new character.
Yep, you got to play a new character. You got to come up with something that is new for you. You got to reach. You got to stretch outside your
Yeah.
comfort zone.
Exactly.
You can't play a straight up chaotic neutral barbarian every time.
Nope.
Damn
Not
it.
this time.
Damn it. There goes my go-to, man.
So if you had to make a new character, totally opposite of what you usually play, what would it be?
An ultra low strength cleric.
Low strength cleric.
A low strength cleric. Oh, Dan just offended me by typing gnome bard. Dan, you have offended me.
I think that's what you'd
Me
play,
playing
though.
no,
You'd have to
a
play
gnomish
that.
bard or a gnomish illusionist. It would just be me, like, it's essentially me poking myself in the eyes. It's like,
All right, so watch out for a gnome bard on the Ravenloft Prisoners of the Mist Persistent World tonight. It's
Yep.
probably going to be Trent.
yeah, sure.
And then another little bit of news for Persistent Worlds. We've got Aerolith, the lovely Persistent World. They've updated a bunch of their wallpapers. And I'm bringing that one up.
So
And here's
Aerolith
an
is
example.
continuing pushing all sorts of new art on.
What's up? Oh, it's on. Well, yeah, it is on.
Yep.
And there it is. There's an example. It's very lovely.
That is. That's pretty. I like pretty.
Yeah, it makes me yearn for the prairie adventures.
I like the foothills, climbing hills. Why is
Yeah,
it
the
always
lowlands
in
of-
fantasy adventures, they're always in the wrong place? Why can they never start in the right place? It's like, now it's time for a journey montage. As they go, and they walk, and they walk.
There is a lot of walking. I
A
mean,
lot of walking. A lot of epic sweep shots, especially Lord of the
certainly.
Rings.
I was
It's
just
like
going to say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
was the king of that.
Mountains.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Gandalf, up your game. Teleport, baby.
Or
Boom.
how about this, Gandalf? Call up your friggin' eagles.
Yeah, if you can call the
In the
eagles
first
at will.
book.
It's like, okay, eagles, we're going to fly. We're going to just fly all the way to the mountain and Frodo throw the ring in, all
like-
before he gets all sketchy
Yeah.
later on. when he's-
Spoiler, but
Yeah.
Boromir died. Like, just
Yeah.
call the eagles.
Actually made me sad.
Well, yeah.
He was kind of a jerk, but
I
when he
mean-
died, I was sad because he was supposed to be the best of men, but he wasn't the
Yeah.
best of men.
Well, it's tough when you've got a corrupting, powerful ring
Nearby,
around.
and you're number two. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm not the real king. I'm the son of the steward.
Have you seen that?
He definitely had some steward baggage.
He did, because he's not a king. He's the son of the steward.
Son of the steward, and the second one in line. Well, no, he's the first one
No,
in
he's
line.
the first one.
Foromir's the second in
Faramir,
line. Yeah, and Faramir's a much better person.
Yeah. The other thing, have you seen that PSA about Sean Bean, who plays Boromir?
The fact that he dies a lot.
Dies in every movie. It's like every 1.5 years, Sean Bean dies in a movie.
He dies for us
Yeah.
all the time.
It's pretty good. We have a question.
I like Sean Bean.
Me too.
Hello, Beamdog. Can we have 3 scales instead of 2 for the user interface, please? Number 1 is kind of small, and number 2 is way too big. Can we have a medium size? Also, please, it would be just perfect. Thank you. So one of the things we have, to get it working on mobile, we had to do kind of a scaling of, we can scale by almost any factor now. So rather than 2x, 3x, it can be like 2.5x, 2.7x. So there was a lot of different things we had to do for that. So those fixes are kind of getting integrated, and they'll be getting ported back. Oh, apparently there's an answer to your question, why Gandalf didn't summon the Eagles. Actually, the Eagles were performing in Vegas, and they couldn't get away in time. Ba-dum-dum.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
That hurt. That really hurt. There's nothing quite like bad puns to make the eyes roll.
Moisture has been detected.
Oh my God.
So I was going to say, speaking of Neverwinter Mobile, we are going to try to demo it.
Are we going to demo it?
On
Are
the
we
stream.
tempting fate by actually attempting a demo?
Yes, and as soon as I plug this in, it's like detected moisture.
It lied. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
I guess I didn't need this anyway.
Plug it in. And here we go. I'm going to be playing.
You're going to play. Very nice.
Wah. So I'm watching the intro movie. So I remember when we made this.
Can you throw it up there, Dan?
I remember when we made this intro movie. Dan's making funny faces at me, so I'm assuming he's not getting it up.
It's not working.
It's not working.
But it will.
The video
assume.
thing is not working. I'm going to create a new character.
Oh, because actually there are some saves if you wanted to load.
Are there saves?
Yeah.
I love saves.
So if you
That way I don't have
load.
to- Are they gnomes? As if they're gnomes, I'm going to be mad.
No, there's this Hordes of the Underdark Chapter 1.
But it's got your name, so I feel bad playing it.
No, please.
Do you want to play it?
I think you should play it. I
All
want
right.
you to play it.
I'm going to role play as
long
Sarah.
as.
You're going to be lawful good. Okay, Trent. Think of the best possible iteration of me there could ever be, and I will play as that character. I plugged the
Yes.
HDMI back in because that's what we do with computers. We unplug things and we plug them back in.
Is anything
Maybe it
else
needs
unplugged?
power to this adapter thing. This
Yeah, I
adapter is
mean-
literally the size of a brick.
Yeah,
I
but
will
it's
attempt an
plugged in.
unplug and a replug again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go! Patow! Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! People be killing me here. Hey, hey, hey.
How's it going there, Dan?
Deacon.
Well, we can try to show it a little bit on the, just
I was.
on the camera here.
It gave me the option to reprimand Deacon.
And did you?
No,
Yeah, because that would be mean.
I can't reprimand Deacon. Deacon's a sweetheart.
So we do have it going. Has Luke showed you kind of the little semicircle here?
The semicircle.
I don't know if you can see much, but they made it so that you can control the camera angle with your thumb on one side, and then you can push. You don't have to click.
The virtual D-pad.
Yeah, the virtual D-pad. So there's
Virtual
almost like
D-pad.
almost like a console controller, but you can't use them together at this point because
Yep.
then it thinks you're
It
pinching.
thinks you're pinch zooming.
Pinch zooming, exactly.
Because that is the thing. Wah, 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 wah.
Well, maybe we can pass this over to the hand of Dan just to show the Hordes of the Underdark on mobile. But
All right,
I guess we might
unplugging
not be
the
able
defective thing that does not allow us to show footage.
Apparently.
Hand of Dan, show them the game. And with that, Dan threw something on the ground.
Yeah.
It's okay, Dan. You don't have to be angry. Don't be angry now.
You found the thumb thing that'll
I can
adjust the
hear,
perspective
I can
and.
hear audio.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Hey,
A
my
little
face is
bit.
in focus, but the game is not. Trust us that this is an Android device and not a cleverly faked PC that Dan is holding in his hands.
Yes.
Because
it's-
we totally we don't have the budget for any of that kind of level of fakery. But it actually plays pretty well.
And it's quite nice. Like I said, it feels almost like a console controller because you can use your thumb to move the camera angle on this on the right.
My God, Sarah, you're actually playing a half-elf neutral good fighter. How are you not lawful good? Like,
Well,
how
I don't
does-
know. I
how
made
does-
some poor decisions and
Some-
got in trouble with the law.
some like, I'm no longer willing to follow the strict dictates that you impose upon me. Oh, there was a feature there that the keyholing thing.
All right, here's a question.
I'm just going to play the game and ignore you guys.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
that
having
sounds like
fun.
really good streaming content.
Yep.
If you both could be major Forgotten Realms characters, who would you be? Well, maybe I would want to be Dritz Dourdan.
Really?
I mean, because he's pretty slick.
But all the bad things in his past.
I
man.
know.
That's some
But I mean,
dark
it's like
stuff.
if I could be something that I'm not, you know?
Okay, so you said Forgotten Realms, so I can't pull anybody from any of the crazy settings. Because I think it'd be totally cool to be the dragon in Dark Sun. It's like, this is my city, and I'm going to eat obsidian, and I'm going to suck the life out of people. Dragon would be awesome. Forgotten Realms. I would be Bane.
Bane.
He's just crazy bad, man.
What's his deal in the Forgotten Realms?
Bane, he is a god. He's an evil god. He's
So
the
you want to be
fun
either a
evil
dragon
god.
or an evil god?
Well, the dragon in Dark Sun is essentially an evil god.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be fun. Because if you're going to play a character, you got to play outside of who you are. I mean, I talk a good tough fight, and I talk a chaotic neutral barbarian, but I have lawfulish goodish tendencies. So when I play characters, I want to explore the other side.
Sure.
It's like when I play a video game, like if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, I basically have like a 2-minute play cycle where I'm like, and I hop in a car. 2 minutes later, car is on its roof on fire, and I'm looking for another car. In real life, I have not put any cars ever on their roof, and I haven't, only one. And I've never had them on fire. Well, okay, twice. The last race we were in, I was racing in a chump car race, and our car caught on fire twice. We're going to try plugging the HDMI back into the laptop to reset it and close the window and poke the thing. And
I don't know what window you mean, but
oh my God.
it's all good.
Now we're going to
Now
try
we're
it
gonna
again.
try again.
I'm going to plug it in. Plugging it in. I don't know who infected me with the singing. Who did the singing thing? Because that's totally messing me up. Somebody is making me sing.
Hey,
It's
look
working.
at this. We've got Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition,
Yep.
Hordes of the Underdark, on a friggin' mobile build.
Ranica Miltanner. Half-elf, neutral good, 20th level fighter. Do you know how long it takes to get to 20th level?
Oh, I did it last night.
Really?
Yeah, that's why, you said you saw it was called Sarah.
Yeah.
Just leveled all the way up.
Legit level up, or is it like, I'm going to start a Hordes of the Underdark
No.
character and I'm going to get that levels for free?
I lied. What happened was our wonderful quality assistance team, Sonia, got us some saves.
So I don't know if you guys can see, but when I run behind, it cuts through.
Yes, that's a really good feature.
That is a cool feature that we call keyholing. Keyholing. I'm so messed up. I'm going to sing for the rest of my life now. What's that?
Unplug it?
I just wrecked the audio. Unplug it.
Sorry,
damn it.
dudes.
So is all of our audio?
Is all of the audios? All right.
Is the audio actually? Oh, no.
For your persistent
No,
world
no.
Halloween character.
No. Not going to happen.
How's the sound? Is it back up?
You can't hear. Can you hear me? We can hear everybody.
You can hear? I was about to write a
again.
note, but you can hear us again?
You were going to write notes?
I was going to write up, help me.
We'll do this with interpretive dance.
Indeed.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. We're back. That was a little preview edition on mobile.
Yep. So if you plug it into one of these things, you will bork your live stream audio. So don't be doing that.
Apparently.
It's all bad.
But it is pretty fun. It's pretty playable.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a interactive little button in the bottom corner that they've added so that you can interact with things without having to have tiny fingers.
It's one of those crazy, crazy things that it's like cutting edge PC game from 15 years ago would literally crush many desktop systems, can now run on a phone. And man, technology. It's so awesome.
And that will be coming out this year, right?
Yes.
Sometime
In
in the future, before you say
in
Happy New
days
Year.
following these
Yes.
days. We won't say exactly when.
Yes.
We're gonna hold that in reserve because we're like that. Oh, here's a question. Wow, that's an obscure question. Will Beamdog consider adding accelerometer values as uniforms for shader or interface custom controls or effects? Or maybe you can make shaking the phone the shortcut for a Druid's Earthquake. So accelerometer pulling the data from the actual phone itself. I don't know if we can tie into that easily. I guess through SDL we could pull that as an input. That's pretty hardcore.
What the heck is an accelerometer? It sounds
So,
like
an
I will
accelerometer-
use the accelerometer.
Quickly to the
destroy
accelerometer!
Superman. I don't know. Or
The
something
accelerometer
like that.
is every phone has kind of an accelerometer in it,
Okay.
so it can tell when it's being turned or twisted or anything.
Okay, it's like your
So-
inner ear. For
Yeah,
the phone.
so a Wiimote, the Wii
yeah.
controller it has 3-axis accelerometers.
Okay.
They actually use that to be able to tell how much it moves. They don't actually track how much it physically moves. They track the difference in essentially the acceleration of it. So when you start moving it this way, it knows, oh, I've accelerated this much, oh, decelerated this much. I'm probably about here. It's pretty cool.
That is neat.
I think I'd like to see Trent cosplay as Julian from Trailer Park Boys. How about it? Dan's a big fan of that concept.
We need to get someone
Do
to
you
play
know?
Ricky
Do you know?
as
Do you know what would
well.
have to happen? I would have to spend a bunch of time watching and getting into the character, and then I'd have to have a glass everywhere I went, and
Yeah, just the glass,
Yeah.
the black sunglasses,
Yeah.
the slicked back
Yep.
hair. But you need someone to be your Ricky.
yeah, I need a Ricky. We'll make Dan Ricky.
Or maybe
I'm
Dan
not
can be Mr.
going
Leahy
there.
or-
If I'm going to do anything that's costume related, I'm going to do something horribly lazy because I am really bad with costumes. Project be announced this year. I can't really commit to that. We have intent.
Fingers crossed.
We have we intend, but we'll have to see how things go.
What will you be for Halloween? Going to a party?
So a couple of years ago, I did a Superman costume.
Yeah.
It was it was really easy because it's literally you just put like a Superman T-shirt on and then you just wear a normal suit and you're like, I'm Clark Kent, and I pull it open and it's Superman. So it's light.
I think I'm going to be pulling out my Dr. Beverly Crusher Star Trek uniform again this year. Going to, I mean, someone's having a 90s party that I'm going to this weekend.
Okay.
But I'm like, next generation is 90s. So I'm just going to wear that.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
See, I could see 80s party because it's old enough. 80s is kind of
Yeah.
cool again, but 90s was kind of like, why you want to go back there, dude?
It's already 2018, so
I know.
it's now a thing.
Curse
People have
you,
90s
world of the
parties.
future. In your 2018s.
Yeah, now there's nostalgia. I mean, you should know there's nostalgia for 90s video games, nostalgia for 90s, chokers and
I always liked
platforms
chokers. I thought
and-
chokers were cool.
yeah.
Yep. Big fan. That said, I've never worn a
You
choker.
never worn one.
No.
You should get one with the thing for the
Yeah.
leash and all
So
that.
that's actually one thing is I actually have a fairly thick neck. So when I get dress shirts made,
Yeah.
because I have to get them made, because when I go to buy them, I either get like literally it's a dress, so it fits my neck,
Yeah.
or it doesn't fit my neck. And I hate wearing ties because I think, who would agree to wear some kind of fashion that allows them to basically be strangled? Because naturally, that's how my mind works. I'm
Indeed.
like, it would be so easy to strangle somebody with a tie. You just grab them. So I don't want anybody doing that to me. So
Well.
I don't like ties.
I guess the other businessmen, they just like to live dangerously.
Yeah, they're like,
Just dangling
I will expose my
yeah.
neck to you and be open for strangulation.
Oh boy.
So that's it. They should be like the ultimate power move. You just grab the other guy, choke him out. It's like, give in to my will, or I will kill you.
That's why no one wears a tie here at
True.
Beamdog.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is the clip-on solution, but clip-ons are just,
It's true.
they're just not legit. They just don't sit right.
That's true. Hey, well, we've got a few other things to get through, and we got some community questions. We got
Oh my
IE
God, the
news.
community. Superman is 80 years old this year.
Really?
Dear God. You know, I could almost play the part. I got a little bit of weight coming in the
Does
beard
he
name
age
there.
at the same rate as humans, or because he's an alien? So
He is an alien, but he grew up fairly normal, so
Yeah.
nobody got really suspicious about
Yeah.
the baby growing up to be Clark Kent. So he
I
must
guess he
age
probably
pretty
will.
close.
Yeah. Hey, so there's Infinity Engine news quickly. Patch 2.6.
2.6.
It's coming out in the near future, and it'll also include the DCA pack, multiple spell rules, fixes, and yeah, the ability to see DLC portraits in multiplayer.
That'll be a nice feature. I'm really anxious to get that one done. The DLC
Yeah.
multiplayer. Because right now, and you're the only one who can see the portrait,
Right.
which is kind of sad.
Yeah. And yeah, not too much to report on the DCA, the Dice Camera Action Portrait and Voice Pack,
Yep.
but it will be coming out.
Yeah, we're just rolling on the art.
Yeah.
We want to do a brilliant job with it. We want it to feel like it. We want to feel like you could look through a series of Baldur's Gate portraits and you just like that fits so well. So we're
so
putting
they really
some
feel part of the canon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're really cooking hard on it. So.
And the team voice pack that we did will also be coming out sometime
Yeah,
in the
that
future.
I'm so anxious to kind of hear how that is.
Yeah.
'Cause in my mind it's epic, but I have this horrible feeling that I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, I'm kind
Go
of
fight
sad.
to battle.
Yeah. To blood and battle.
Yeah. We shall see.
Yeah, because I was yelling my butt off, and it felt really good. And I was like full on. I was swinging my arms around. I was throwing, excited. I was having a hoot, and then I lost my voice for 4 days.
Yes, you did. You canceled on the stream.
I'm like, come in and squeaky, squeak, 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 because my voice
Yeah.
is gone.
Well, we do have some community questions that Julius, the community manager, put together.
Oh my God.
So
Why are we
let's
not on those?
answer a couple of those before we have
Goofing
to
around.
go here. Exactly. Number one, Neverwinter Nights related. Taking into consideration the work being done on NW Sync and the release of 64-bit following GOG, how many development builds do you think weapon masters are away from being able to select unarmed strike as their weapon of choice?
Wow. That's a long question for the sub question. I don't know. We got a lot of features to do with the 64-bit and NW Sync. We'll finish those. We'll get it solid. We'll be happy with it. And then we'll come back and we'll look back at the feature list because we've got kind of on the Trello, there's a lot of long-term things that have moved to short-term. So the goal is get those short-term things done, and then we'll start picking up new stuff that we want to work on.
We do have the Trello board readily available if you wanted to look at it.
Look
all.
at it?
Yeah. But
Trello!
Trello.
It's like Trogdor. Trogdor! The Burninator! I love Trogdor. We
What's
need to
that?
plug it back
we
in.
need to plug it back in.
Dan's all like, oh, you unplugged me, you heartless bastages.
There we go.
What show was that? Johnny Dangerously. You farting bastards.
So yeah,
Bastages. That was his thing.
Trello board. Proposed, yeah. Icebox.
So a number of long-term actives have moved to short-term actives, and a number of short-term actives have actually moved into dev build.
Yeah, we've got some fixes. Wrong, Dan.
Dan is unhappy Dan.
Audio issue.
UDO issue.
Unplug this.
Unplugged.
Okay. Trello time will be postponed till next week.
Yeah. Anyway, look at the Trello. We're moving stuff. We're paying
Yeah.
attention. We're working on it. It's
Exactly.
happening. Here's another question. Any chance Beamdog may add the Shoe Disciple and Eye of Grumish into the base game? Both classes are already present within the game but not active. I don't know. That's again one of those things we're gonna have to look at. We focus in on the short term. Let's get this done, and then once we're done, we can kind of step back and we can kind of reprioritize things, and really we look at the Trello first, and we troll the community, and if it's in the Trello, that's our priorities. That's what we're going to be working on.
Nice. Another question. Is it possible to provide an INI setting to turn off the automatic success once the character or NPC rolls a 20?
So in third ed, automatic success on a D20 roll is actually kind of part of the core rules. We just implemented it like that. It's something we could possibly look at down the road if it's a big deal, but like right now, it's all about the Trello. Trello.
Yeah. And yeah, Luke added a comment saying that automatic success on a natural 20 is kind of a well-established D&D rule.
Yep.
So
well, there's that whole concept as well of taking 20 in third ed, where you're like, okay, I could try an instantaneous action here, or I could take X amount of time to do this right, and I can take a 20 on it. So taking a 20 is basically, I have all the time in the world, and nobody is hassling me, which never happens. There's always somebody hassling you. Here's a question as well, Neverwinter. Has there been any headway over the possibility of opening up proper spell lists and spell books for EE? Again, Trello. We're not looking at it yet, but we're trying to knock off a couple of the bigger features before we get there, and then we can take a look at it.
Very nice. Another community question. Is there any kind of enhancement, or are there any kinds of enhancement that can be made to the issue of conversations requiring separate codes for conditional branches? I've swapped to using ZZ dialogue, which works just fine. However, once I am adding more and more dialogue options and actions, it can become a mess.
I think one of the things you're running into there is that when you start to make things complicated, things get complicated. We could do things around this, but again, it's kind of one of the entire conversation system to handle it, and it'd be a lot of work. So I don't really see us doing that a lot. It's non-trivial.
What about this question from the chat here?
How about official prefabs by Beamdog available in your shop? Professionally laid out FR cities, NPCs, items. What do you mean by prefabs? Are you thinking like pre-built areas for Neverwinter Nights, or are you thinking actual like physical goods where it's like maps and so on? So I'm not sure. I understand the question.
Or is it for the Dungeon Master?
It could be.
Stuff. Between Beamdog and Critical Role, just like DCA.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Critical Role, give us a call.
Yeah. Call me. We'll do lunch.
Yeah. We'll have to see, because we're a big deal. They're a big deal.
We're a big deal. That's funny. Yeah. We're a bunch of game developers.
Yeah.
We do nerdly things and have fun with it.
Yeah. They are a big deal.
They spend all their time in front of a camera, whereas we just goof off for an hour every month or every week, which is kind of fun. Here's a question. Will the 2.6 IE patch get spell area of effect marks as an option available in the setting menu of the game? That one I'm not sure about. I'm not sure if we rolled that yet. We did a test with it in Icewind Dale, and we kind of liked it. So I'm not sure where we're at on that one.
Yeah, I think it was popular in Icewind.
Yep. It's pretty cool. Here's another question. How does GOG handle its version control? Say you guys update the game and a server one plays on hasn't updated yet, so you want to roll back your own client to keep playing. I'm not totally sure how GOG handles the ability, if they have the ability to roll back to previous versions of the game. Let me think on that. I don't know if they support that in the client. I don't spend a lot of time playing with GOG stuff because like they're a store and like we're a store, and I spend time obsessing over the things that are broken in our store and don't worry about other people's stores. Although I do look at Steam once in a while because I buy some games through Steam.
Right. So not 100% sure on that one.
No. That's a good question though.
We do have a couple more from the community here too.
Okay.
So does the team have plans or concepts for more tools to enhance the multiplayer?
NW Sync's kind of the big foray into that. Once we get that up and running, I think it's really looking at that custom content art pipeline. And like Cam's kicking the renderer. He's at day 24 right now. So he's rewritten it from scratch 5 times now, and he actually likes the current approach he has.
Yeah, and we know he's on day 24 because there's just scratches on his office door, like tallies.
Yep.
Yeah, and his beard is also longer.
His beard is he's getting this kind of crazy Bushman thing going. He's a little terrifying. He's getting feral.
Yeah.
So by day, I think he's thinking about day 40 something. There will be something. He'll be totally feral by then. So I'm a little scared.
But it's on its way, making progress.
Yeah, he's making progress, and he's definitely changing things. So there's kind of how OpenGL was back in 2002, and there's kind of how OpenGL is in 2018, and the two are fairly different. So it'll be interesting to see what the end result is.
And yeah, one more question here. What sort of audio improvements are expected, like loop points, OGG, etc., for Neverwinter Nights?
So we're using OpenAL, which is the open audio library, which was done by Creative Labs a while ago. Has some limitations that we need to work around before we can really kind of make us. We got to do some more work on it to figure out exactly what it can and can't do, because it's got to support a pretty broad spectrum of hardware, especially now that we've added phones and tablets. Some of them have 1 speaker, some of them have 2. Same thing on PC. Some people have full 5.1 surround gear. I mean, it's really a challenge to figure out where we're going to spend the effort and how much payoff there is to each thing we do. So right now, if it's on the Trello, it's what we're cooking on. If it's not on the Trello, it's kind of in the backlog.
Right. We have a question from the chat here. Question: new classes like Mystic Knight in Neverwinter Nights. Is it possible? Mystic Knight.
Almost anything is possible as long as we can get. It comes down to whatever special abilities or features that don't exist in the game. If there are features that don't exist in the game, it's harder for us. We got to go in and try to figure out either how to A, implement those features, or B, hack some kind of near implementation of those features.
Right.
And hacking is usually never a good thing, so we try to avoid that. But the possibility is there.
Right. Well, we're getting very close to the end. We probably have time to answer this question really quickly. I think a good idea. So, Hero of Neverwinter.
Having the Hero of Neverwinter be the main protagonist in Hordes of the Underdark, and they meet Erebeth in Kenya, and it must be a love story that ends there. No. The problem comes back to us revisiting content versus building new content. It's kind of like going back and trying to reimagine what was previously done. I really want to focus on kind of the future and what's next for us as a company and the new stories to tell, as opposed to going back and retreading what we've done. So
fair enough.
So
well,
I want to make it all about the future. The past has been great, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, and we really want to support the products that we've built, and we want to continue carrying those forward and ensure those are a good experience, but we really starting to look forward now.
But what about the love stories that need to be told?
I want to put that on the modding community. I mean, if it's awesome, we give you the tools, you can tear the module apart, and I totally give you permission to grab the modules, unpack them, make the change you want. And if it's brilliant and a bunch of fans support it, I'll look at it and I'll say, yeah, this is quite good.
Well, it's about time we wrap watching today. Just to reiterate, we've totally got Beamdog jobs, so please apply.
Look at the Beamdog job page.
We've got a Halloween sale that's kicking live today. So go buy stuff, 50% off IE games, 30% off Neverwinter Nights, and 50% off soundtracks.
Yes.
And we're giving away one more T-shirt.
We are.
The winner is?
The winner is?
Unreal Marine. Unreal Marine.
I wanted Sarah to announce it, but she's obviously not wearing her glasses because she had to lean way in there to read it. Unreal Marine.
Congratulations, Unreal Marine.
Well done. You have a T-shirt.
That is
we probably about 300 on the planet right now. So that's kind of it's kind of an exclusive.
Right. Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Bye everyone. Thanks for watching.